to speak, to think, sets us apart from the rest. These differences allowed us to create society. We fought wars, made agriculture, created empires, built computers, put a man on the moon. But at the center of it all, what made all of this possible? Cars. And everything from traveling around the world to putting a man on the moon relies on the advancements made towards creating an autonomous vehicle. And to most, the driverless car driving on the streets of the world might seem like a distant future, but it might just be a little closer than you think.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. Take a look at this cool video of the Mona Lisa. Anyways, our world is dependent on vehicles to get around, and the most common place to find AI in vehicles is in a car, but the history of cars goes farther back than most think. Over 500 years ago, Leonardo da Vinci created what is thought of as the world's first robot. Da Vinci's cart was the predecessor of the modern car. It worked by presetting the cart to follow a set path before using it. His cart used a spring under high tension to propel it all on its own. It is because of these two reasons that it is thought of as the first robot.
All the way back in 1868, the English engineer Robert Whitehead created the Whitehead torpedo. This torpedo was designed with a pressurization system that propelled it under the water. This let Whitehead's weapon be able to travel through the water much farther, faster, and deeper than anything else seen at the time. After the creation of the Whitehead torpedo, new weapon innovations made by inventors in the following years led people to notice how fucking useful automation could be.
What's up, Doc? It's the roaring late 50s. You just sat down in your new for Thunderbird, and you're probably using the Teeter Cruise Control in your car while you cruise down the highway. The Teeter Cruise Control system was the first automation device to be commercialized and implemented into cars. This genius device, designed by the blind mechanical engineer, Ralph Teeter, let drivers choose the speed they wanted to drive it without having to keep their foot on the gas pedal. And that's all, folks.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In 1961, just 3 years after the Teeter Cruise Control, the space race was in full steam, but a problem arose. How were people going to control a vehicle all the way on the moon? I've exhausted every evil plan in my filing cabinet, from A to Y.
A to Y?
Yeah, A to Y, you know, the alphabet.
What about Z? It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
It's evil. It's diabolical. It's lemon-scented. This Plan Z can't possibly fail! The plan was automation! The first person to think of automating the moon rover was James Adams. When it was built, they called it the Stanford Cart. It used sensors along with 2 mounted cameras to follow an imaginary line and detect if anything was in its way. This made the Stanford Cart the world's truly first self-driving vehicle on wheels.
Years later, a vehicle called the Tsukuba, partially based off of the Stanford Cart, used the side-mounted cameras to detect wide road markings, allowing it to be able to drive up to 20 miles per hour, all on its own. What the Tsukuba pays in comparison to its siblings, the Moors. The Vamos was a huge milestone in the history of automated vehicles. Mr. Dickman created such a successful car that it navigated a complex road system at speeds up to 60 miles per hour. And it did this by using a dynamic vision. In fact, Hans Dickman's dynamic vision is still used today, and it is one of the most important aspects of autonomous cars. This vehicle used multiple cameras, along with 60 microprocessors, so that it could process dynamic vision for its driving. Dynamic vision is when the cameras process the video taken and get rid of the unnecessary bugs, referred to as noise. Then the video becomes much less crested and is easier for the car to understand.
Automation is already here. There are dozens of companies who have put fully driverless cars on the streets. Plus, there are hundreds more that are working on it. But this future that people might think of, if no more drivers, no more traffic, and no more crashes comes at a pricey cost. Billions upon billions of dollars have been poured into what some people are starting to call a money pit. But you might be thinking, all of that money has to be getting us somewhere. But the answer is sort of. While companies such as Waymo have successfully brought fully driverless cars to the streets of 13 states in the U.S., still, about 2/3 of people in the U.S. are still reluctant about driverless vehicles. And with the extreme cost of producing these cars, companies are finding it hard to even come close to making any profit. But this is not stopping them from trying. It is impossible to know when it will happen. But the car industry is almost like it is destined to become autonomous sometime in the future. Until then, we are stuck with traffic and dangerous streets. But at least there's something to look forward to.